Gigi-chan isn't quite sure what it is that completes the outfit, possibly the horn-rimmed glasses with the rhinestone frame, or the streak of white that MG-chan dyed into her hair, a compromise, MG-chan wanted an undercut, or maybe the smart lab coat with the trim waist, or the dress pants with the matching black heels. Gigi-chan thinks it's probably the fake nose piercing that ties it all together, the final rebellious element that adds cocky scientist to "this person cooks with nitroglycerin." Because that's what Gigi-chan suddenly becomes, a scientist specializing in cuisine, a chemist cracking bioluminescence into brownies and flash-freezing ice cream in liquid nitrogen for a tantalizing dessert platter of whimsical experimentation. Gigi-chan had insisted it wouldn't work, that she was a coder, not a chemist. MG-chan had countered that she wasn't even a coder, she was an art student in a costume, and now she would be an art student in a different costume. And it works. RBR-kun has become a whimsical figure himself, smart from head to toe, his Gucci jacket replaced with an intricate white button-up, vibrant red trim at the lapel, a matching kerchief in the breast pocket. His apron, cinched at the waist, is laced with gold. It covers only his bottom half, leaving his frame above sharp and imposing. His teeth are whiter, his hair parted with a sleek sweep to the side. Suddenly, he can speak French. He is a chef of the highest caliber, a perfectionist who perfectly sources only the rarest, ripest, visually immaculate ingredients to cook with. He treats caviar like a seasoning and gold leaf plating like an absolute. Any perceptible flaw in his cooking technique is masked by the perfection of his ingredients. And MG-chan only ever drafted 2 more of his credit cards to put the outfit together. MG-chan's transformation is fairly simple. She chooses a wig of shorter blue hair and plaits it into 2 tight side braids that run down her shoulders. She sews an outfit of head-to-toe chef's garb, white on white, with simple functional shoes, a matriarch of the kitchen, with the confidence to never crack under pressure. It comes as something of a shock to all 3 of them when MC-kun needs no transformation. He insists on cooking while the other 3 dress up, and steals away to the hotel kitchen unnoticed, and surfaces with a 4-course meal that obliterates all expectations. Something about his outfit already works. No one is sure what. The League of background characters sweep the cooking tournament, an indisputable victory under each of their belts. Of the few murders that happened that night, none happened close to their rooms, which have all been deadbolted, reinforced, and in MG-chan's case, welded shut. This is due to MG-chan owning both a welder and a welder's outfit, and the confidence that she can unweld it in the morning. The next night, everyone opts to sleep in MG-chan's room for the extra welding protection. The next round presents itself as a chess tournament. Gigi-chan opts to change nothing from her normal appearance. She writes a perfect computer algorithm to beat any human opponent in chess, and she memorizes it. Even without the mental computational speed of a computer, she's fast enough to calculate most relevant paths in her head and act on them. She blows her opponent out of the water. RBR-kun needs only tweaks. His rich boy look is modified to a prep school look, with expensive thick-framed glasses to pass as the captain of an elite chess club. He takes a lot of joy in the dramatic effect of his glinting glasses, and is kind of disappointed to give them back to MG-chan when he curb stomps his opponent in the match. They all sweep their competition. Once again, MC-kun needs no transformation. His pink spiky hair and bandana suffices, even if it says nothing at all about chess. Horseback archery is next. Then sumo wrestling, then antique pottery making, juggling, ping-pong, freestyle swimming. The costumes in MG-chan's room pile up, a horrifically ugly clashing mesh of shirts, pants, headbands, accessories, jewelry, hats, and a few sets of cowboy boots. The murders continue, but at a distance, to people that the 4 of them have rarely interacted with, and seemingly with less frequency. They speculate about this a little. If it means Villain-chan is losing steam, or losing interest, or focusing more on the competition as it comes down to the wire. But they can't waste much time on theories. They only have 24 hours to put together ice skating leotards. Something strange happens after the ice skating round. The contestants have been whittled down to the final 4. This final 4. The League of background characters. 4-way high fives circulate when RBR-kun's 8th successful back-to-back quad cinches him the round. The commentators take note that, for a set of rivals entering the semifinals, the 4 of them sure do seem friendly. And the 4 of them note with a bit of melancholy that they may have to part ways for the final 2 rounds. It can't be a collaborative effort anymore if they're going face-to-face. But at least one of them will win in absolute. And it won't be Villain-chan. They let their guard down. Until a scream wakes him in the middle of the night. One of the defeated girls, with the pure white hair, has been shaved in her room. Her bags are already packed, her loss is official, and she is murdered anyway. The four of them reconvene in a maintenance tunnel under the hotel for added security, as the rooms just don't feel safe anymore. They're lit only by the emergency lighting along the walls and Gigi-chan's laptop whispering back and forth. Why is the murderer still active when she can't possibly be part of the competition anymore? Why murder a contestant who's already lost? Is causing her victims to lose not her end goal? Is losing not the end of it? Would she follow them elsewhere? Would she follow them home? Is this something beyond the competition? Suddenly, their conviction that unmasking Villain Chan isn't important is wavering. If it's not just about surviving the competition, then it's about surviving her, and the possibilities of what she's after become much more unclear and much more scary. I don't like this, MG-chan mutters. We should have weeded her out. Instead, we might have made ourselves the last target standing. Did we make it easier for her? We could always still just, RBR-kun strikes his index finger out with only half conviction. Lose? Sure, if you want to throw your match against me, I'll take it. MC-kun reaches a hand out and lowers RBR-kun's finger. Seriously, though, we're not doing that. We don't even have any evidence that'll help. Gigi-chan is typing in silence, a pale and almost ghastly figure against the laptop light. I tried this already, scrapping the outgoing and incoming messages, emails, texts, Google searches coming from the hotel for anything suspicious. It always came up empty, but I'm broadening my filters. It might take a while to sort through, but anything suspicious, anything concerning that my AI grabs, it's worth looking into. We're blind here otherwise. Her screen stutters and flashes, and the results pour in as plain text in the command prompt. The rest of them lean in, crowding the screen, eyes skimming. A Google search for Best Blue Hair Dye Fast Delivery, an email titled, I'm sorry, I lost Grandma's special coat, a text message, I lost today, Mom, I hope you're still proud of me. None of that is useful, RBR-kun mutters. He sets his hand to the trackpad and scrolls further. All of these are just about the murders and defeats, not the why and not the who. Wait, scroll back up. MC-kun cuts in. He pulls the laptop over. I saw something weird. There. He points. Forward. Uncle Rio still trapped in Shadow Realm. What does that even mean? MC-kun asks. There are weirder ones, MG-chan points out. Incoming text. Your little sister was spirited away. We're looking for her. Love you lots. Google. How to take over as Mafia Don in murdered brother's place. Yahoo answers. Is 15 too young to avenge my entire family? Avenge? MC-kun asks. There's too many of these to be a coincidence. What do they mean? MG-chan now. Terrible, isn't it all? It's a female voice that speaks, and it's none of theirs. All four of them spin in place, hairs along their necks standing on end, and in a split second Gigi-chan's glasses are shattered. She shrieks as the glass explodes around her. RBR-kun reaches a hand out, her name in his throat, before he's silenced by a wave of bleach that sloshes across his front. He lights to his feet, aghast, dizzy from the fumes eating into his suit. My Gucci suit! Shit, she's here, MG-chan says, and it's all she has time to say before a quick swipe of twin blades shears both her twirling pigtails off. It shears down to the netting, taking a chunk of natural black hair with it. MC-kun only has a second to react, and he does. He leaps back arched so that the incoming blade nicks only the tip of his hair. He completes the backflip, springing on his hands and landing square on his feet, eye to eye with Villain Chan. I didn't know I could do that, MC-kun whispers, somewhat amazed, and it's all he has time to do before Villain Chan launches another attack. MC-kun parries this one with a blade that's appeared from nowhere, but he doesn't think about it too hard. He shoves her back, twisting her blade off center so that it strains her grip, and he lunges. One of her twin swords goes clattering to the ground, and with the same motion he catches the netting under her wig, sweeping it off with masterful precision. It falls unceremoniously to the floor. MC-kun points his sword at Villain Chan's neck before she can retrieve it. She's entirely shed her disguise now. It's the same burning eyes staring back at him, but with colored contacts removed. They are blue pools of pristine aqua, and her bubblegum pink hair flows past her shoulders, luminous even in the dark tunnel. She kicks vertically, connecting with MC-kun's wrists and knocking the blade from his hand. She sweeps in fast, a spin kick knocking MC-kun off balance as he struggles to find his footing. It's Taekwondo, and a masterful display at that, throwing MC-kun into a panic until he finds his balance, and blocks, counters. His hands suddenly know what to do, how to imitate her style. He's on par with her. She flicks a row of throwing stars out of her sleeve, and the battle shifts again. MC-kun digs his own kunai out of his sleeve, and the face-off starts again. Stars clash against the back concrete wall and echo, the scraping sound of steel on steel following as MC-kun blocks. They're fighting barehanded, and they're on horseback with javelins, and then without warning they're crouched on the floor beside each other playing a children's card game. The fight becomes a race, an actual foot race, until both Villain-chan and MC-kun are aggressively cooking at separate cooking stations that have manifested underground, with RBR-kun, MG-chan, and Gigi-chan waiting happily to be the judges. What's happening? MC-kun tries to mouth to one of his friends, but the fight is too fast-paced. They're boxing now, him and Villain-chan, and he can't speak well through his mouth guard. Villain-chan attacks with a wave of fire that MC-kun counters with a wall of ice, which still surprises him even after the long montage of uncanny battles. He hadn't known he had ice powers. He's still not sure how that works. The wall melts under her barrage, and Villain-chan races across the puddles with a long sword in her hand. MC-kun has one too, and he steadies himself, looking for an opening. Villain-chan slips on the melting ice, not much, but enough to shake her focus, enough for MC-kun to lunge in and swipe her blade out of her hand and lodge his own sword tip under her chin. They stand frozen in place, both breathing heavily, the maintenance tunnel echoing the drip of melting water. What do you mean by terrible? What do those emails mean? And what are you trying to do here? Tell me. She slips beneath his blade, her skin suddenly glowing. The glimmer coalesces in her fingertips and manifests as a pulsing ball of light, which she fires directly into MC-kun's chest. He's thrown back, the wind knocked out of him, and he drops his blade. I'm trying to make you all go home! She races to cover the gap between them, collects another ball of light in her hand, and slams MC-kun into the ground, hard enough that an audible crack follows as his head collides with the pavement. I'm trying to put you back to normal, and save you from being like that! She points to Gigi-chan's abandoned computer, still scrolling text across the screen, from being like the rest of us! Villain-chan's life has never known peace. She was born with pink hair. The doctors told her family that she was a main character, and ever since then, her life has been in ruins. Her father has been kidnapped by a horde of otherworldly demons. Her brother is being held captive in an isekai. Her uncle is an evil crime lord. Her mother died many years before she was born. This has been Villain-chan's every day for far too long. When one threat is defeated, another one eventually rises, as certainly as the return of the sun, the return of the tides, and any happiness she's found has been transient, stunted by the knowledge that eventually something else would challenge her and take it away, something new declaring her the chosen one, something new seeking her out as the only hope to end a war, or save a people, or solve an ancient mystery. Sometimes that something is milder, a contest, a sport to take interest in, a harem of boys who follow her every which way until their time in the spotlight is up and they are filtered out of her life to be replaced by whatever new threat has sought her out. Villain-chan has tried to fight it. She's tried everything possible to free herself of this curse. And one time, she found something that almost worked. One time, almost a year ago, she went to the department store and bought the darkest hair dye she could find, the simplest muted contacts they had to offer. It was a color set like all her classmates who she envied so much. The ones who she almost couldn't see, who lived a world away from her, who she felt buzzing in her periphery, going on dates and to club activities and to cafes after class. She saw them living life, and saw only a monster in the mirror, and she wanted out. The next day when she went to school with her hair and eyes brown, it was as though all the normal-looking classmates could see her for the first time, and she could see them. It was a crossing of worlds that made Villain-chan's hands tremble, a life she'd only ever imagined for herself. She tried hard. She tried as hard as she possibly could, learning names and faces and interests and hobbies and quirks and customs of those background characters, learning what it felt like to call others friends. But always, her roots grew in too quickly. Their names and faces became fuzzy. Supernatural forces would drag her outside their world for weeks on end, and then she would return. And then when she would return, everyone had become strangers again. Some of them were no longer the same people, a different color swap of a different background character, replacing the spots where she once knew people, distant and ill-defined and other. The world, however it worked, would not let her mesh with them. They were oil and water. Villain-chan had to give up on that future she saw with her classmates, with friends. She had to be alone. At least, she thought. But it was one normal background boy who pieced it together, who figured out why she distanced herself and shut herself away. He showed up at her locker one day with his hair dyed pure white and a gentle smile on his face. And Villain-chan cried. He followed her everywhere, White Hair-kun, even if it meant crossing dimensional rifts and delving to the center of the earth. He worked hard beneath her to learn what she could teach him, learning what the white hair meant for him. He gave it his all, and learned all her tricks, some supernatural and some just human, and did it every day with a smile on his face. His was the smile to greet her every morning at school. His was the hand she squeezed whenever she got the next round of bad news about some family member's kidnapping. His was the face she pictured when all else failed to give her hope. His was the voice that assured her she was good and kind and worth fighting for whenever an enemy launched into monologues insisting Villain Chan was just like him, as evil enemies tend to do. W.H. fought demons with her, banished ghosts with her, liberated cities with her, and still waited for her in the rain on school mornings, and still saved a seat for her every lunch period, and still sat by gentle lamplight with her to finish homework in the wee early hours in the morning. He was as tired as she was, of this dual life, of the isolation it wrought, but he insisted he was happy. Always, that he was happy, just to be doing this with her. For the first time, Villain Chan was happy too. That was her mistake, she supposes, succumbing to that happiness, letting her guard down, believing W.H. was stronger than he was, when he lacked the years and years of training she'd had. It came to a head in the fairy realm, fighting an army of tricksters, sly, malicious, low-blow-dealing menaces who Villain Chan had fought a number of times before. W.H. had not. He was out of his element. They had cast an illusion of Villain Chan, leaving her back open, about to be hit, and W.H. fell for the bait. He leapt into action to protect her. He took the blow full body, and when Villain Chan turned around, he was on the ground. W.H. would not get up, no matter how much she screamed for him.